Okay, I'll tell you what, this man here, No Limit founder Georgie Rose is standing by and he's joining the run home with Joel and Fletch. Georgie, good afternoon.
Hey boys, how are you?
Georgie, I saw you just scoffing down those scallops last night. How many did you have?
The scallops weren't good. It was the oysters.
The
It was the
oysters. Yeah, get you a bit randy,
they
doesn't
made
it?
for a great night.
It was. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't mind. It was pretty flash, very
Yeah.
flash.
Matty was pretty critical of Hamish and Andy's humour. He wasn't very happy with him. He said, "When are they going to start making jokes?" But I didn't mind it.
No, I thought they were good. I'd love to see Matty in one of them Hubbl
Oh yes.
boxes. I don't think he could have done it. I don't
would-
think he's got the arm.
We wouldn't have seen
So
it.
you're Vegas bound, Georgie, for a couple of reasons.
I am. I'm heading over. I'm heading over next week for the footy. Heading over to enjoy the footy and also do a bit of promo stuff with Tim Tszyu while we're there. And then heading back there 3 weeks later. So going to do a bit of damage the first time around and yeah, and all business on the second trip.
So Georgie, he's going to fight. Tim's going to fight Keith Thurman.
Uma.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman. Remember how when this all kicked off the Vegas thing, it was all going to be right. It's going to be an Aussie week. We're going to have Volkanovski. We're going to have Tim. Obviously, that was discussed. How close was that going to happen? We're going to have a fight in the lead up to the NRL kicking off.
Very, very close. And so filthy that we didn't get it through. The biggest thing that hurt us was our partners over in America, PBC. They changed from Showtime US broadcast to Amazon Prime, and so this is the first Amazon Prime show that they're doing, and so they got a lot of work that they were doing in the lead up to it, and so instead of being there the same weekend as 50,000 odd mad Aussies, we'll be there 4 weeks later. But we'll make sure that next time we don't make it happen, we'll make sure that it's the same weekend, because for me it just makes sense. Vegas is a home of boxing. You got all these mad Aussies in town for the footy. It just would have been a loose weekend.
Georgie, it may still be a loose weekend, but Georgie, you know the game of promotion. How do you feel we're tracking for this Vegas sojourn for rugby league?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Look, I think it's something that we should have done a long time ago. I think it makes sense. Footy's a great game to watch. Americans love watching sport on TV. Absolutely love it. Now game's made for TV. So that's why I reckon it makes so much sense that we do it. And to do it, you just got to force it down their throats, don't you? So I think being there and being in Vegas where it is a bit loose, you get some Aussies to go mad and make some headlines and put on a great sporting experience. I reckon that's it. Just makes so much sense to me, and I think I think Peter Volandi's a very smart man. Love what he does at the NRL, and I think it's the future of the game. You got to break into that US market.
Georgie, tell us a bit about this Keith Thurman character. We always keep saying, people keep saying this, as soon as Tim fights a new bloke, this will be his toughest fight yet. But I'd imagine this is his first time over in fighting America. This bloke's a real deal?
Oh, absolutely. I think the Australian description of him is mad as a cut snake. So the press conference that we had over there, he's just jumped up and taken control. And when you think of Americans and you think of these loud, brash sportsmen who talk trash like no one else, he is the epitome of that. He's everything that you could hope for when you've got a humble Aussie bloke like Tim Tszyu heading over to America to make a name for himself. He's a perfect opposition for it. Problem is that he's actually a good fighter too. He's actually an absolute legend who he's lost one fight in his whole career, and it was against Manny Pacquiao. Now we all know how good Manny Pacquiao is. If that's your only loss on your resume, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but he's he's absolute star. So for us, we want to make a bang in Vegas. You got to be up against someone that's a star, that's got a big mouth, who you can just come in there and shut.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, they're good at stepping, the Americans. And look, who do we need? Timmy goes past this bloke, Thurman, Uma, Crawford, Spence, Canelo. Who's the one, Georgie, you think we need?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. And here's the beautiful thing that I love when I talk to Tim about it, and the team, they're genuinely confident that they'll beat all of them. So for me, I feel amazing right
Yep.
now. You know, I'm that pumped. I just want to make these fights happen. And a fight like this, a big win against Thurman, that announces Tim to the US public. He's already got a pretty good name there. He headlined US TV 3 times last year, so that's a massive feat on its own. But now he's actually going to be there in Vegas. Americans get to see him live, and they get to know that Tim's a real deal. So a big win off this would be great to see someone like Spence or Crawford, both of them talking about coming into Timmy's weight division. You come into Timmy's weight division, you got to fight Tim. He's the name in the division outside of Charlo. Charlo is off doing his own thing. He's off on some sort of tangent that nobody knows what he's doing. So that just leaves Tim. Tim's the guy. Tim's the guy to fight, and so the fights against Spence and Crawford are there. Canelo's a little bit heavier, but again, I can teach Tim how to put on a couple of kilos. Don't worry about that.
Georgie, when did you fall in love for the fight game as a kid? Like, we know you for your rugby league, but did you love your boxing as a kid, or how'd that start?
Always loved it. Always loved it. I remember when we were a kid, there was a movie came out, Rose Against the Odds, and it was about Lionel Rose and his story when he went and fought.
Any relation, Georgie?
Over in Japan.
Any relation?
I'll claim him 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know how closely related we are, but hey, his family, 100%. Like Keith Thurman and Uma Thurman, they claim each other.
That's right.
So that was the one that got us in love with it. You know, we used to watch it on replay all the time, and always loved boxing. Loved watching Kostya. And I don't think many people didn't enjoy watching Kostya either. So always enjoyed my boxing, and now to be surrounded by it and still get to mix in a little bit of footy here and there with it as well is fun.
Georgie, what's it like, a front rower negotiating a fight? As you mentioned there, and it's now Amazon Prime. What's it like when you get on the negotiation table? Does it get hectic? Like, what goes on?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I feel like a lot of it is just building good relationships. It's like, you know, you become a likable person, and that's what we've been the whole way. Is we've just been honest with who we are, and you know, laid our cards on the table and been straight up. And I think in the boxing business, there haven't been a whole lot of people like that in the past. So to have straight shooters like us who are honest and you know, true to our values, I think we've been a bit of a breath of fresh air. So for a lot of these guys that we're doing deals with, they're actually enjoying the process. So and we're not getting totally screwed at the same time. So I'm happy with that. Well, not yet, at least.
Georgie Rose on the phone here, on the line here. You can catch up with the chat through YouTube as well. So we've got him on the screen as well. George, you're part of the last premiership for the Manly Sea Eagles. There's something building here. There's no doubt about that from this year. They'll be there in Vegas as you will be. But what do you genuinely think? What's your gut feel about the Sea Eagles, the Silvertails this year?
Look, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We were the preseason challenge champions in 2023.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've got to win something little to build into something big. Maybe back-to-back preseason challenge champions that could really open us up for a good year this year. But I think our biggest problem is we rely on Tommy. Tommy's irreplaceable.
Yep.
Tommy's irreplaceable. If we get him on the field for a full year, I reckon we can match it with absolutely anyone.
Hey, that squad of back in the day, and you should have almost won 2013 as well. Is there a good where are they now? Or is there one of your teammates who, you know, they've probably gone under the radar? We haven't heard about them for a while. They're doing something else somewhere else. Anyone?
Oh, there's a heap of them. I'm actually speaking to Glenn Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah, he's flying.
He's flying. He's flying.
Yeah.
He's back in the gong. He's the king of the gong again, the king of Berserkly. So he's doing really well. He's actually going to come to our fight night on March 13th, and he's bringing a few boys. So I'll see if the gift's still got it.
Yeah. What a story that was. He was out for 5 weeks. After
cheekbone or something?
No. It was after the mayhem at Rookie.
Yeah, right.
And then comes back and wins the Clive in his first game back.
Yeah. I had lunch with him, Georgie, about, it was last year. And, he still got it. He's still entertaining, isn't he?
Oh, he's good value, the gift. Absolutely. And you know what? That's what that whole team had. You know, we had a heap of good blokes in there. And I think that's what sort of helps get to that premiership point. And I know you'd know yourself, Fletch, you know, the Roosters had their own little, you know, there was a lot of characters in that team that led to great success. And I think you've got to have a good mixture of both. You've got to have good footy players, but you've got to have some personality and a little bit of sense of good time in you as well.
Where's so Timmy's in Vegas now. Is he living in Vegas? Like,
No, well, so he lives in Sydney,
Yeah.
but he does a 10-week camp in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much soon as we announced, straight over there, he's been bunkered down there in Vegas doing his thing.
Okay.
And right now he's right in the, the real grit of it where they're focused and they're training hard and they're ripping in. And so I'm going to come over there next week and throw absolute spinner in the works.
Yeah, you're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin
George, you're not staying at the house. You're not staying at the house.
George,
Eagle, his uncle's an absolute gem, and he loves a vodka. But even he said, you're not coming. You're not coming to the house. So
okay, well, Georgie, you got to go to the. You might have been there. You got to go to the buffet in Caesar's Palace.
Ooh.
Holy dooly! It is one of the best buffets I've ever seen.
Dead set. Oh, well, I'll be next door at the Bellagio, so that's walking distance.
Yeah, it is. And actually,
home.
there's a walkway. It's connected. So go in, sit down, and these chicken wings, they were huge. I don't know what they were, but there was a seasoning on there. There was a seasoning, and then they had this aioli, a garlic aioli next, and I was just dipping those bastard in. I was just holding it up. Hindmarsh was just,
We're about 20 minutes from dinner time here. You're gonna
I know. Mate, get yourself to Largo if you're staying at Bellagio as well. That's where the fountains are. You can sit there and enjoy a meal there. Georgie Rose, mate, thank you so much for being so generous with your time, sharing it with the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
No, my absolute pleasure, boys.
I'll see you over there, Georgie. I'll see you in Vegas.
What a ripper. Tim Tszyu versus Uma.
Yep.
Keith Thurman. Sunday, the 31st of March. An historic event making Tim Tszyu as the first Australian-born fighter to headline a pay-per-view event in the USA. And, of course, No Limit are right behind our man.
They're doing good things, No Limit. So they've got the boxing and they've got the rugby league side of it too. They're managing Cody.
Yep.
Latrell, obviously. And
yes.
Jackie Whiten.
Oh, Jackie Whiten.